today we have Hernan Ohaco, a dancer and a dance teacher who has come to India all the way from Argentina. He's on his tour, and today we are going to discuss or ask about his passion for dance. So, Hernan, hola and namaste.
Namaste, nice to
So,
meet you.
what made you to join this tango dance? What's your inspiration?
Oh, we said that tango will find you sooner or later. I dance since I am a kid, and it used to be that kind of dancing that you do during the summer. It's a good opportunity after you finish school, when you are a kid, go to meet the girls in a different environment, go with the family. Tango, at the time when I was kid, it was not yet around, but the dancing culture was there. So normally during the summer, during the carnival period, every club had some kind of dancing, and they used to bring an orchestra which was playing different rhythms, vals, tango, because the people who organized them were a little bit older. They had another way of having fun, and they introduced that to us. But then there was a period of my life where I only danced socially, until a moment, working in Finland. At that moment I was working for a software company, very famous software company. I'm an engineer, a test engineer, and I remember that company kind of like broke down, and the whole idea of working in a corporation where you are a family vanished. At the same time, I was teaching some classes here and there, but then it became the main thing. I moved from a very high place apartment to a very artistic place. You have to make the fire on your own, you have to go pick up the wood.
Yes.
And it was the moment to embrace the artistic life. Then it was when I developed myself as a tango teacher. I was already an instructor, a military instructor, since I am 20 years old. So, when I refined my dancing skills and I got the information that I needed, I started to share it with people who was doing the same thing, dancing tango. The interesting is that from the first day I really took tango on a full throttle, I haven't stopped. It's like I dance every day. Every day I cultivate myself, and these traveling possibilities that tango gives me, it makes me also refine that tango, to make it localized somehow.
So when in India or in general perception is that when two persons are dancing, one man, a woman, the first word comes into my mind is salsa. So what's the difference between salsa and tango dance?
Salsa, I don't dance salsa. Like, I also dance salsa, maybe socially, some step, but salsa is more for people who lives happily, actually. It's a happy dance. As being a happy dance, it requires movements that they are very lively. And I don't want to menospreciate salsa as a dance. It's just different from tango. In tango, we have more of this nostalgic feeling, which make us to get even closer. And then there's all this spiritual traveling that you start to discover while you are dancing. How much of connection you need to have with yourself to be able to connect with another partner and create a dance which is improvised. Tango, I think salsa also, is improvised. You go to a place, you meet somebody who maybe you never seen before, and you share 15 minutes of holding closer somebody. That kind of things doesn't happen in our world anymore. You never stop 15 minutes to embrace somebody, constantly. So there it goes, the difference. I think salsa is more fun, detachable, but the tango brings you to your emotions, to your really true self.
Mhm. So you have conducted a master class of tango dance in Mumbai, right? So
Yes.
how's the response?
Well, I have tried to come to India earlier
Mhm.
because when I start to develop the technique of connection
Mhm.
and matching the music, which was really hard to find something defined for everybody, being such a personal experience.
Mhm.
So I got to the point where breathing was very important,
Mhm.
breathing to develop, to walk, be conscious of that
Mhm.
breathing. So I believe there is a strong connection
Mhm.
to your way of living, to your culture, to Indian culture. So I was always very eager to
Mhm.
come to India because I also knew what was going to be the
Mhm.
response.
Mhm.
I knew that tango is for India as much as India is for the world,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yes. So this is your first trip to India?
First trip.
Okay. Who's your guru? If you talk about dance guru or your inspiration.
This is something similar as well. In here I learned that you don't choose a guru,
Mhm.
the guru chooses you. In tango happens more or less the same. We have kind of like our own god, which is
Mhm.
tango, and is materialized through the music,
Mhm.
right? The music tell us something.
Mhm.
You can pass next to it and you
Mhm.
probably can't get any message,
Mhm.
but hundreds, thousands of people, they find some kind of identification with that music. So
Mhm.
that's our God. Even when we dance, we call the music the third part of the couple. Yes. Look, in tango, like in taste, you will be liking certain things, and then you will develop, and you are going to like something else. So there is nothing which is permanent.
Mhm.
And the same thing happens with the gurus of tango.
Mhm.
For example, we consider the gurus of tango those guys who were in the social dancing and they somehow came out,
Mhm.
for their ability to dance, but many times also for their personality,
Mhm.
for what they do in their life, for how kind they are to share
Mhm.
the information. I have to mention Mario Morales as one of them.
Maria Morales.
Mario Morales is a very famous choreographer.
Mhm.
He's not dancing actually.
Mhm.
He limits himself to choreograph. And he's my guru in the sense that any time of my life I will go to his studio
Mhm.
and I say I want to express certain thing
In Argentina?
in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. He will tell me, okay, this song goes with you.
Mhm.
This goes with your idea.
Mhm.
Hernan, maybe when you do this, do
Mhm.
it this way. And it doesn't need to be mucho, it doesn't need to tell me much to inspire me or to enlighten me.
Mhm.
Few words of him, it opens me a new world. So
Mhm.
that's for me is a real guru. Then there is other amazing teachers that I have visited, thousands of teachers, because everybody will have something for you,
Mhm.
always. Everybody who is doing tango, who is devoting their life to tango, they definitely will have something for you to use. So I have many others, but Mario is the one that I
Mario.
will I will come back to.
So Hernan, how many countries you have traveled as a dance teacher, like you are in Mumbai?
Many. I can mention some. Uh, Finland was a very big part of my life. I lived there over 10 years
Mm.
and I developed in that place the maestro, the tango maestro, different cultures. Finnish people are very, how can I say, entire, and their culture is based on natural things, on simple things, on the how to say, it's like a lot of silence. The silence is very important, like air for
Yes.
for for people. So Finland was a very important one. Then it was Russia, also very beloved to me. Ukraine. I
Ukraine.
have gone to both places. At some point, there was a war in 2016,
Mhm.
and the teacher from Ukraine was on the front line, and I was invited to teach the students. So I went into some very dark place, and as I said, in the surface there was war, and we were dancing in a basement. It was a tremendous experience. Also, a lot of people from Ukraine.
For how
But
many
Russia
days?
was
For how many days you were there?
in Ukraine. I think I was something like a month and a half,
Oh,
and in Russia altogether 7-8 years.
7-8 years?
Yes, going and coming, you know. Ukraine was more like once every 2-3 years, but Russia was something of every year to visit. Then Italy, in the north of Italy, I developed with a dancer a technique for blind people to dance tango, so I taught them as well. What else? Spain, in Barcelona, Madrid, Germany. I was also in Cologne. Yes, I think in Berlin as well. I don't remember exactly. Then it was Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
All of that in Europe. Cyprus, Greece. What else? Okay, I haven't done France. I said Italy, and then of course Argentina,
No country in
Azerbaijan.
Africa? No country in Africa?
Yes, I was in Azerbaijan, which is very near from here, and then I was in Egypt. It's an amazing community in Egypt. I was once also teaching in Abu Dhabi, but in Cairo, people was wonderful experience. And then the latest experience which really touched my soul, it was Israel. I was in Israel, all the cities, Jerusalem, Haifa. We used to live in Haifa, Tel Aviv. Everywhere in Jerusalem, in Israel, which was also a spiritual approach, you know, being in the Holy Land, with the problems that there is nowadays. We're trying to understand also my students in there, you know. I have several students in Israel, and when I realized the life they were having at that moment, the fear, you know, every day going to the street, not knowing what was going to happen, they needed to have a connection with another human being who comes from somewhere else, connect through peace, you know, find peace on someone else. And that's what tango provides basically to a person who is working 24/7, to a person who is in problems. In that moment you go to a place, you connect with another person who probably you don't know, and you have a moment of meditation, of silence on your being.
Another question is like, what do you think? What is the need of an art form in a person's life? A person is going for his work or her work, doing 9-to-5 job. What is the need of an art? As an artist, what do you?
I think we all are artists. You know, it's inside of us, but society has told us many times that we need to find security, and that trick of security, which is not a trick. There is people who lives perfectly fine and also doing their art, you know. But this obsession sometimes with the 8-10 hours of work every day, those are the real heroes in reality, you know, of this society. These are the ones that they pull the society. But the price they pay, it's tremendous, because they get away from art, you know. Art is limitless.
Yes.
It's the only moment where you can sit in front of a camera, or you can sit in front of a piece of paper, and you got no limits. You know, you open that and you start to write, and there is no limits on what you can express. The same with the dance. You know, the dance is something that physically makes you speak. You stop writing, or whatever emotions you are having or you want to express, they will go through your body. As you know, body language might be the first language, right? So it's so important to go to a place where you can express yourself.
Yes.
It's like air in between all this massive amount of information, you know. It's your cable to the ground to do art. You know, many people say, oh, I cannot dance. I say, even better, you know? If you have never done dancing, writing, acting until now, what are you waiting for? Yes, there's nothing to lose in there. It's all to win.
Can you speak something about your childhood, like your parents, what type of house was that
Yes.
you were born and brought up?
Sure,
That
sure.
were they also an artist or into the field of art?
No. In my family, it's like they were traders, you know. There were people who was doing business. My father had some mini markets. At the side, he had some racing horses. He used to organize racing horses as well. And my last name is Basque, from Basque Republic, French
Basque.
Basque. French Basque. It's in the limit in between Spain and France. That's from where Ohaco comes. Yes,
Okay.
the
It's
last
a
name.
connection between Argentina and France.
Yes, you know, in 1900 and even earlier, the story says that in 1492 there was a guy called Christophorus Columbus. You know, he was very bored, maybe in Spain, and the Queen of Spain said, "Hey, go to find some specias." Where? Go to India. You know, of course. Where are you gonna find the best? Go to India. So this man left and make a small mistake. Instead of turning around, he continued going and came to a land believing that was India. He related to the people. We look alike, you know, and then he put this flag that, okay, we arrived to India and now this is Spain. Anyways, what I was going to say is that we have a huge amount of immigration during those times. So the Argentinian race, if we can call it a race, is a very mixed. It's not something traditional. The traditional Indians that were there, they are not there anymore, or they are very few. So the Europeans and the Asian people came and populate South America. From that, we can say that, anyways, my last name comes from France, and then my grandmother from my father's side was Italian, and then from my mother's side we have some kind of Indian or Jew, I don't even know yet from where is the side of my mother, and Spanish as well. So all of that is mixed into my culture. When my mother met my father, they were very young, and the relationship ended, and I was born. I was 3 years old. And I went to live with my grandparents, and that was the
In
first contact.
Buenos Aires?
What?
What is the place?
Coronel Pringles, Argentina, in Buenos Aires,
Oh, okay.
the province of Buenos Aires. So in there they had this kind of, monitor from the local radio station that I was coming in that way. They will bring you a monitor to your home, you will put it there, and that guy had the biggest collection of tango all over Argentina. So he was pumping tango
And
most of the time.
what was the year you're talking about?
80s.
80s.
About, yes. I lived with them from 1978 until 85, something like this. We were very humble, My grandparents, they were down to earth. Like my grandfather was retired from the trail, the railway company, and my grandmother was Italian. She was making pasta on the weekend. That was her shop. Very stubborn. They had a little bit of an attitude as well. They were extremely nice people. I grew up with them in that environment, which was very humble. Then I moved with my father to work with him on the business when I was about 13 years old. I was studying in a Catholic school, and I was working with my father until I decided to start traveling. So the first stop was when I changed school. I did my university in a military institution where I became an instructor, you know. In that place I was going in on Mondays until Fridays.
Instructor of dance?
No, instructor of the army, you know.
Okay.
I was instructing people how to shoot, how to take care of themselves, how to plan an attack, and also how to do the parades, you know.
Parade.
Yes, it's very related. The movements of tango, they are somehow in that ceremonial way.
That discipline of how to maintain the body.
Is tango in there as well. So after that, I went to work for United Nations. I worked for UN something like 5 years, and then it was when I got to work for this very big company where I became an engineer. And they're more or less go.
So you were so tango was parallelly you're working for tango.
But tango is on my it's a popular dance. Okay, so you could start dancing tango when you are very young and make a career until you are 90 years old only dancing tango, but it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely because the life of dancing tango is not something that now maybe is more supported by people because now tango is known around the world. It gives you this possibility of traveling and so on. But on those times it was not like that. Yes, on those times, if you sit down and you tell your parents, I want to dance tango, and teach them, what? Go to school.
Bread and butter was
yes, forget about that. You cannot live with that. When we say we cannot live from the art also, it's something not so true, you know. It's true that we need money to live, but I believe money it's an energy. We shouldn't be against that, but also we shouldn't be obsessed with that. We know that somebody make a paper, that paper came from the bank to my hands through a lot of people.
Yes.
And it should go to other people, you know.
Yes.
That energy should be shared.
The distribution thing.
Yes. I believe that, you should have a certain amount of money to live your life comfortable. Yes, but I don't believe on those people so much. I don't know many of them, but that they would accumulate or that they will make their life about accumulating some kind of asset, because we are not here to do that. We are here to live. And if that energy, which is called money, helps me to live, helps me to open my eyes, help me to help other people, wow, that's great energy. Yes, the energy
that empathy thing is very important as an artist.
I think the more you travel, the more empathic you become. Every time you go to some kind of country, you need to lose your, we can say, ego. Yes,
learning and unlearning.
Yes, we lose our ego. I cannot come here and impose Hernan.
Yes.
Hernan has to come to India, absorb the culture, and become something else. Yes.
True.
So that's why wherever I travel, I still have in my soul Finland, Italy, Russia, Ukraine, Israel. You know, all these countries are making my new ego, we will say. And it makes you a different person. You've got to be humble when you travel. You know, share the world, share what you have learned through this traveling. Otherwise, again, it's an energy that doesn't work. If you don't share it, it does not work.
So, Hernan, India is a very rich culture, you know that, and in the context of dance, we have different food, different dance, different dresses. Like in North, you have Bhangra. In Gujarat, you have Dandiya. Then you have Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi. Do you have any exposure of Indian dance form?
Of course. Every place I go, I try to, like I tell you, learn about the language, the culture, the art of the place. It happens when I went to Cyprus, when I went to Greece, when I went to Finland again. I learned some dances like say Bekiko. You know, it's like a tango but alone. And then I started to see some dance. You know, social media nowadays brings you here all the artists that you want to see. Everybody has a page. I don't remember the names now, but I've been following 2 or 3 folk dancers, and I find a lot of things from tango in there. You know, the way you call the contraction and the extension of the legs of the body, it has a name in Hindi, which I don't remember now. But I think that when it comes to tango, somehow it's different because it puts 2 people together. You are very used to in here to one, to making that one really accessible to the world, sensitive, spiritual, awareness. But what when we have 2 persons? What about this connection? Why that connection is not so open as when we talk about ourselves? You know, okay, you do have for thousands of years also a culture of a couple, right? But we are living now in 2024. I am searching in India also for a guru which would like to combine these concepts. You know, for a person who will bring into a couple the right way of connecting with an energy. You know, to be aware of this body and therefore unlock other feelings while you are interacting for a dance. Also because we have talked many times that the connection in between 2 persons is normally based on the couple love. The type of love where you go, you marry, you are together all the time. But so little is talked about this intermittent connection that we have with normal people. You know, a connection in between woman and a man is not always based on sexuality. We can get out of that sexuality, out of our bodies, to find what we really are. You know, this essence that we all have inside, this spiritualism. And that's beautiful because again, that doesn't have any demarcation. It has no limit. It's limitless, right? So I am very much into trying to find an Indian way to connect in between 2 persons.
All the best for you.
Thank you very much.
And on this note, we'll wind up this interview. Thank you, Hernan. Dhanyavad. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much.